nothing but a wonderful new root growing its beautiful self with a little shadow on the root tip. Then you water your orchid and this discoloration shows up. If this is what you see on your orchid roots and it raises alarm bells, there's nothing to worry about. The red blemish is anthocyanin forming as the angle of the sun hits this root, and when wet, the reflection of the sun increases because of the moisture, and your new root can show the reddish hue, matching the color that you see on the root tip, which is also exposed to the sun, and for that reason turns red. This orchid presents anthocyanin. More importantly though, the red blemish on your beautiful new root, once you see it get wet and it appears, there's nothing to worry about. However, if the sun exposure is extended while the root is damp, then the Velamen will burn and look like this when dry and like this when wet. Here's another example. As long as there is sufficient humidity, even after the root dries, this is not damaging the Velamen at all and does not compromise the root's function either. If you have roots that look like twigs with absolutely no nematodes showing at all, do not remove the root. It is still viable but very, very old. And the Velamen will have a calloused appearance, as you can see here. As long as the root is plump and firm, it is viable and supporting the orchid when watered. This example shows you spotting on the Velamen, which can happen when there is a higher fertilizer concentration in the water, or in this case, it is mechanical damage from birds using these roots as a perch. This example, even when wet, will look the same, be it fertilizer burn on the Velamen or mechanical damage. And here we have a crossover of shiny new Velamen when dry, and the example of an older root that shows signs of Velamen with sunburn as well as algae forming. When damp, the difference between the two stages of the Velamen's age is evident, and even the older root is still viable and actively supporting the orchid with moisture as well as nutrients. Now, as a palate cleanser, there is nothing wrong with this group actively growing wonderful pure Velamen, and when wet, a beautiful sight to behold for all orchid aficionados that admire orchid roots. Then we have the most annoying mechanical damage of all, an active root tip that has been compromised. This is unfortunate and can happen if you were to accidentally snap the root tip, or in the case of my example, yet again a baby bird has to understand and learn our roots are not worms, even if they look like it, and the root tip has the same color of a worm. Now, when this happens to a root tip, the root has several options. It can stop growing altogether, it can continue growing at a branching point, or it can just get over it and continue growing as if nothing happened. I have to say that I love that the root continued as per usual and did not stop entirely. It did take a month before it reactivated, but seeing a root continue to grow at the precise tip where it was damaged, that's pretty rare. Usually, roots that have been damaged at the precise point of the root tip, they might branch or just completely stop growing. So, baby bird has learned its lesson, I hope, and we have our actively growing root back. Now, I hope you can rest assured with what you see happening on the Velamen of your roots with some of the examples I have showed here and what caused the different apparitions. Please feel free to direct any questions in the comments. In the meantime, thank you for watching.